Welcome to the MagiReco News. I'm Renko the Rosielam. I would have given you these news yesterday, but we didn't have the news yesterday, so I'm going to give it to you today. Our top story today is that we're going to fight more witches. For real this time, like actual big scary witches. But we're going to get to that in a second though. It's all going to happen on the 21st. On the 21st, we're going to get a whole bunch of new stuff. And I'm going to have to read off a lot of stuff from the translation because there's a lot of stuff to read here. Anyway, first off, actually let's start with this one. There's going to be a new main story. The main story, chapter 6 of arc 2, that they have really sped up the release schedule for main story chapters. The first one or two main story chapters of arc 2 came out rather fast, and then it was like many months between the next one, and then many months again. It was like a really long time. I think we got like 2 chapters in a year, and now we've gotten like 3 chapters in 6 months or something like that. So it really has sped up quite a lot. And yeah, we're getting into the 6th chapter, which seems like it's going to be something about Felicia's memory, something about Mitama's mayor election, because someone's getting elected to mayor, and there might be something wrong going on, I don't fucking know. And also the battle between Promised Blood and Kamehameha Union, something to do with Ao as well, so maybe someone's going to die again this time. It's probable. More importantly though, okay, it's actually not important at all. This half AP and the double experience and everything, all of that, it continues. We already had this campaign running from the 1400 day since release event, but it's gonna get extended because of the new main story release. Okay, moving on though, what's actually gonna be the gacha, right? We're gonna have a gacha every week. Well, there's actually no new character or old character gacha. In fact, what we're getting is, we're getting a gacha for just some Memoria, okay? So the gacha that's gonna be running for like a week, yeah, for like an entire week, the only gacha we're gonna have is the Memoria gacha, okay? So you can select 4 out of these Memoria right here, and if you roll a 4-star Memoria on this gacha, it is guaranteed to be one of those 4 Memoria that you selected. And which of these are pretty good? Well, we have Friends right here, which is still pretty good. It's not like the best, but it's still among the best, I would say, depending on your playstyle. If you play Accelerate playstyle with like Magia and stuff, or with Exceldus, stuff like that, then you probably don't need crit at all. But if you play Charge Blast, it can be good sometimes, depending on how much damage the enemies, how much HP the enemies have. If you play a full-on Blaster team, then it's quite alright as well to have that. So yeah, it's still pretty decent, still a really good Memoria, probably one among the best, but no longer the top, I would say. Then we have Negotiator, still pretty alright, it's decent, definitely a good thing to have on your lineup. Then we have Depart of Morning Glow right here, so I don't know what people call this in short, like Morning Glow or just Depart, I don't know. This one gives attack, defense, and stealth and resistance, and a little bit of all of those, so I think it's fine. If you have a fresh account, you might want to have this stuff, though it gives a decent amount of attack up, a decent amount of defense up, and it's nice to just get a fresh account going, so this is a good one for that. And there's also the Kindness Can Be Made, which is this one right here. Kindness Can Be Made is also a pretty decent one. Instead of giving attack up and defense up, it gives damage up and damage cut, and quite a bit of both. So yeah, there's also a pretty good one to have, especially on a fresh account where you might really need to have that extra edge to not have your characters die and actually to get some damage out. So yeah, I think those 4 are pretty good to have. Apart from that, I mean, the Kyoko Memoria is pretty decent, I guess, if you have a full-on Blaster team, but the rest are not that amazing. But yeah, if you already have some of these, if you have specific needs, just look at all of these different Memoria on the wiki and see what you need, okay? Or just skip this Memoria, just skip this gacha. You're gonna spend Magia Stones on this, when you can spend Magia Stones on, where is it? On that? What is this? Well, first off, this is paid Magia Stones, okay? There's going to be a new thing for paid Magia Stones for this week, and what's going to happen is the following. So this is a bit of a weird one. We've never had this kind of deal before. The deal is the following. You get to select, for 200 paid Magia Stones, you get to select any unlimited 4-star unit that you want, with an asterisk, okay? So 200 paid stones for choose your own unlimited character, all the way up until and including Mikage. Don't know why it goes any further than that, but at least Mikage is a good point to stop, because Mikage is great. That by itself is already pretty good for 200 paid Magia Stones, but, and here's the asterisk, you can only select characters that you don't already own. Meaning, if you already own a Mikage, for example, let's say you have a 1-slot Mikage, you cannot select Mikage on this gacha. You cannot select her. you can only select characters you don't currently own, so you will be guaranteed a 1 slot of a character you don't currently own. You cannot use this to give a character another slot, which means that, by the way, it actually says this right here, I think in red, that if you already own all of these characters, then you can't actually do this gacha. Whales literally cannot use this gacha because they already own all of these characters. That's weird, but yeah. So if you just want to own a character and don't really care too much about their slots, this is probably the best deal you're going to get. But like I said, it's only paid stones. If you don't want to pay money for this game, this is not going to change your mind, right? What else is there? So those are like the smaller things. Here's the big thing. I'm going to go back because this news is actually broken a few days ago, but I didn't cover it because I thought they were going to add some stuff to it, which they did this week. And this stuff by itself would have not been enough for an entire news cycle. So what is this? Extermination battle. It's the Extermination battle. It's a new kind of event. It's a new kind of event, okay, guys? I need to explain to you the rules of this new kind of event. So, what is this event? This Extermination battle, story-wise, it's about some Mintakihara witches coming to Kamihama, and we're gonna have to come together to fight them. But there's like multiple barriers across the city, and we're gonna have to defeat all of them at once, or else like resurrect each other or something like that. And this means that we're gonna have to split up. Okay, we're gonna have to split up story-wise. Okay, we're gonna have to split up. How this works is that there's gonna be 5 different barriers across the city. The fifth one, or like the fifth barrier, you can't access right away. The other 4 barriers you can access in any order. So you start off with 4 barriers, you're gonna have to clear those 4 barriers, and once you have cleared those 4 barriers, then the 5th barrier unlocks and you can beat the 5th barrier. And you can repeat this on different difficulty levels, like easy, normal, there's hard, there's challenge, and EX challenge. EX challenge, like the hardest difficulty, right? So you do this multiple times on all these different difficulty levels. And that's how you do this event, right? It's like you do 4 of those smaller barriers at first, and you do the 5th barrier, and then you repeat on the next difficulty, kind of like playing Diablo, I guess. Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, where you go through the different difficulty levels. But here's the catch. Here's the catch. You can't just have a character do the 1st barrier, then the 2nd, and the 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th barrier. Instead, you have to do all of these in story at the same time, which means you have to split up teams for each individual barrier. You will have to send one team to the 1st barrier, a different team to the 2nd barrier, a different team to the 3rd, a different team to the 4th, and then a different team to the 5th barrier. Meaning, we need a lot of characters for this, right? At minimum, you will I assume the minimum amount of characters per team is 1, so you need at a minimum 5 different strong characters if you want to go solo on every single barrier. But if you want to go a 5-man team on every single barrier, that's 25 characters you could use for this, which is kind of amazing. So yeah, the way they've set this in the story is that you have like a team breach a barrier, and then they take control of that barrier, and while they are taking control of that barrier, they can't help out anywhere else. They have to send other people to other barriers. Now, if you're wondering, does that mean I need like 1 billion memoria? Because when I have 25 characters, they're gonna need a lot of memoria. It's 100 memoria between those. No, because they said specifically that you can reuse memoria between teams. You can totally just reuse, so you only need 1 set of team memoria, and then you can just swap those memoria between teams, totally fine, right? So you don't need to have that many memoria. Having enough to deck out a single team is fine, but you will need like multiple characters. They've also said for some reason, I guess they want to make this like some high tier stuff, and in order to promote this high tier content, what they've said is you're only allowed to participate with characters that have reached at least 4-star, right? Which every single character in the game can reach, so this is not even a restriction. If you have a character that you're using in battle, you probably have them at least at 4-star if they are capped. Like I say, for example, you use a Konami for some reason, you're gonna have her at 4-star if you use her in battle, right? So this doesn't mean anything, right? No, it fucking does actually. Why? Because there is one character that cannot reach 4-star. It's Kuro. This restriction means you cannot use Kuro because only characters that can go up to 4-star can participate, or that are at 4-star can participate. So the game hates you, Kuro. Just like your life hates you, and like Destiny hates you, like the writers hate you. Everyone hates you, Kuro, except Homura. You cannot participate in this event because you cannot reach 4-star. Really sorry, Kuro. Maybe at some point you're gonna find the way of the Kuro and level up. Who knows? I get some bonus information about this, by the way, later on, about what this all means. They've just said that, oh, you get some first clear rewards for every barrier, like some rainbow orbs, daily coins, you get Magia stones, of course you get Magia stones. If you clear a difficulty, I think they say, like an entire difficulty, you get gacha tickets and more Magia stones. Like, yeah, you just get stuff for clearing the event. Duh. But here's the important bit. If you clear every single difficulty, like if you clear everything that you can, like the EX challenge difficulty, what you get is you get a special memoria, which also isn't something special because every event, or like most events, at the very end you get like one commemorative memoria for beating the event, but you also get a title, which no one cares about. But just, I need to say it, you get a title for beating this on everything, because sure, titles are kind of underused in this game, like they barely are around. No one uses them, like, seriously. But yeah, what else is there? Like, the difficulties don't unlock all at once. At first, you get the easy, normal, and hard difficulties. Then, like, a few days later, challenge unlocks. And then a few days later, EX challenge unlocks. I seem to stretch this out a little bit. Ooh. Apart from that, for some reason, because they want to promote the PMHQ, because this battle has supposed to do something like story-wise with the PMHQ, all the PMHQ memoria, and I need to keep reminding people, Nagisa is not part of PMHQ, because the Q in PMHQ stands for quintet. It's 5 of them. He's not part of it. I'm sorry, guys. So the PMHQ, all of their flower memoria, they get special effects just for this event. So this is not a permanent buff to these. This is like just an event memoria. Basically, these all function as event memoria, and during this event, and only during this event. I need to keep stressing this because someone's going to ask at the end of this event, why is this memoria suddenly different? But yeah, just for this event, to stress it again, just for this event, these memoria, only during these event battles, are going to get bonus effects. These bonus effects basically just make them really powerful, to make sure that you do use these memoria if you have them. And I'm going to read off what exactly they do. So the MagiReco memoria, which normally just gives a little bit of HP regeneration every turn, one of the worst memoria in the entire game. It just gives a bunch of HP regeneration. Now, it's still one of the worst memoria in the entire game, even with these effects. Why? Even in this event, what it does, it gives a chance to apply darkness on attack. Not that amazing. And it has anti-stun. I guess maybe there might be different kinds of barriers, and there might be a barrier where every single enemy stuns all the time, so having this memoria might be good. But if there aren't enemies that stun all the time, this memoria is not going to be that great, even with the bonus effects. Like, it has like 3 more effects on it, and it's still not going to be that great, unless, like I said, there might be a barrier that just keeps stunning. The Homura memoria, this is the wrong memoria. This is the wrong Homu, by the way. Why is the real Homu on this memoria? Whatever. This one gives status ailment resistance up. It's an active, by the way. Status ailment resistance up and guaranteed dazzle to the enemy, which is cool, I guess, but also not that amazing. Unless maybe there's because there's 5 of them, maybe there's like a barrier for each of these memoria. Like, maybe there's a barrier where every single enemy stuns all the time. Maybe there's a barrier where every single enemy uses a ton of different status ailments, like poison, burn, curse, all of these ones, where this one might be fine and they hit really hard, so dazzle might be alright. Who knows? The Cookie memoria, the only good memoria, does the following. It does attack up as well as chance to ignore defense. This one's really fucking good. Both of these effects are really nice. So maybe there's a barrier where every single enemy has a lot of defense, and this one allows you to punch through that defense with ignore defense and bonus attack up everything. Nice. Then you have the second memoria, which gives chance to evade and defense up. It's just even more defensive. Maybe there's a barrier where enemies hit really hard. Ooh, and maybe then this memoria would be really good. And the Mummy memoria will do the following. It does anti-poison, which even if there is a barrier where everyone poisons all the time, will do fucking nothing, because poison is terrible. And also gives damage cut against forest attribute. Yeah, it gives forest damage cut. This right here, you see this? This is right here, this is forest. For some reason it gives forest damage cut. I don't know why I couldn't just give all damage cut. Or fire damage cut against the thing that Mummy would be weak to, but no, it's forest damage cut. Maybe there's like a forest barrier where they use poison all the time. But even if there is a forest barrier where they use poison all the time, this wouldn't be that amazing. That said, they also mentioned that apparently you can kind of see what element the enemies in each barrier use, and if you like have to retreat and then come back to the same barrier, or you do the same barrier on a higher difficulty, I think that elements stay the same. So we might have a barrier that's all fire type. So if you have to retreat and then try again, there's still going to be all fire type, so it's not randomly generated or something. And if you do it on a higher difficulty, it might still all be fire type, something like that. Not quite sure exactly what they meant with that, but maybe that's something that is the case. So you can kind of sort of test beforehand what sort of elements you want to take with you into battle, at least something like that. Also, of course, if you beat a difficulty, like if you beat all 5 barriers of a difficulty, all those characters that you've used become freed up again, and then you can use them again for new battles. So you don't need like you don't need like 25 times the amount of difficulties. No, you don't need that many. So yeah. Another thing that they mentioned is there's a whole bunch of weird stuff they mentioned in here. So apparently, if you have cleared a barrier, let's say for example you have a barrier that you clear with Team Mikatsuki right here. That's a bit scuffed Team Mikatsuki. With scuffed Team Mikatsuki, you clear a barrier, okay? And you then beat some other barriers, and you think to yourself, man, those characters that I've had beat the first barrier, I kind of want to use them somewhere else. You can free up those characters and use them somewhere else. Like you can retreat from a barrier. Like you can have all 5 characters, or all the characters you use, might be 5, might be 1, retreat from a barrier and then use them somewhere else. But if you do that, you're gonna have to fight that barrier again. Like you still need at some point to capture all the barriers at once. But like I said, you don't need to hard commit. You can just test out some stuff. You can throw 5 characters at one barrier, then go like, oh, this barrier is all about water type. Then retreat all of those characters and then do again with forest types. Stuff like that. You can do stuff like that apparently from the news. We still need to actually see how this works in game, because it's a new type of event. We haven't had a new type of event in 3 years, maybe. I don't fucking know how long it's been since the last new type of event. It's actually kind of crazy. No, I think it's like 2 years. I think the last new type of event that we've gotten was the raid event against Charlotte with Valentine's Nagisa, which was the second Valentine's event. I think that was the last time we got a new type of event. So yeah, oh my god, isn't that crazy? Like I don't count Kimochi because that's a completely different thing anyway. But isn't that amazing? A new type of event. Also, guess what, guys? They're probably never gonna do this event ever again, because the last time we got a new type of event, like I said, Valentine's Nagisa, they've never done that again. Like 2 years ago, we've got the Valentine's Nagisa raid event. They've never fucking done that again. We've never gotten another raid event after the Nagisa event. What a fucking travesty. Why aren't they doing raid events again? We've had those before. Just do it again. But no, we've got this instead, which hopefully is going to be great as well. So yeah, if you want to have more stuff, if you want to have more knowledge about this event, which is going to start on the 21st, come to the Discord. Come to our Discord. Just go to the Reddit, the MagiReco, the MagiReco Reddit. There is a link in the sidebar to our Discord, or if you just Google MagiReco Discord, it should show up. Yeah, if you go into the MagiReco discussion channel, probably people are talking about it once it happens, and you just talk to other people about it, about what we're doing and how we are going to go across it. If you're asking me what I'm gonna do, I have a whole bunch of different blast characters. I have at least 5 different really good blasters. I have Final Tart, I have Cool Homura, I have Ashley, I have Yosuru, I guess I can count Mokyu as well. I can just have all of these go solo against their own barrier. I just have 5 blasters all solo their own barrier. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna work, right? It's gonna fucking work, okay? And they're all gonna take the Kyoka Memoria with the bonus damage and stuff. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, that was that. And that's all the news. That's all the news that we have for you today. But that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.